Everybody knows about 3 dimensions. And you've probably heard time described as like the 4th dimension. What does it mean when people say that there's 5th or 6th dimensions? Or 11 or 26 or infinite dimensions? And this is important because this is like the fabric of our existence and the foundation of the universe, and you want to know what these things are. But every time you ask a scientist about it, they're just like pull out this like marshmallow toothpick thing and they're just like, this is the 5th dimension. And you're like, what? No, that's not, that's just a marshmallow. That's just marshmallow. It's not dimension. Well, the good news is there's an easier way to imagine these higher dimensions. This is Hypothetically Speaking. Okay, so imagine I've got this little room in this little tiny box universe, and it has a little me inside it. Hello, little me, trapped in a little box, tiny me. Okay, so if I ask you to tell me where in this little room is the little person, well, from high up above, there's only really 2 things we gotta know. Like, where are they along this line, and where are they along this line? Well, what if we want to go inside the little box? Well, now, to know where this person is, we kind of also want to know their height. So we have 3 dimensions. But now you can imagine how we could have time as a dimension. What if I asked you to describe not just where the little person is, but also where they were 10 minutes ago? Well, this way, you can imagine time is just this extra piece of information. It's our 4th dimension in our little world. And we can use these 4 dimensions to describe everything in our beautiful little universe. But what do we do when there's a 5th dimension? Well, what if I looked in this room and I wanted to know, not just where and when, but also the little me, how little me feels. I want to know if little me is happy or little me is sad or gassy. Probably gassy. Well, in this case, this extra bit of information, this 5th layer, is like our 5th dimension. And you can keep adding these layers of information, as many as you want. So their hair color, or their heart rate, or even things that are really hard to see or for us to perceive, like the amount of bacteria on a person's body at a time. And in this way, we're describing a universe with all of this information, these dimensions, even though some of those dimensions are like pretty hard to understand. But if it's so easy, then what's with all the marshmallows and the little sticks? Why do we have them? Well, here's the thing. In our little universe, it's really easy for me to look at a person, little me, and be like, oh, how do you feel? Are you happy? You sad? But it's another if, say, instead of humans, the universe was filled with turtles. Let's say it's turtles. It's turtles. It's all turtles. The walls are turtles. The floors are turtles. It's turtles all the way down. Well, in this case, it's really hard for me to be able to detect their emotions, like, or even to imagine like a jealous turtle or a fundamentalist turtle. I can never tell how you feel. So this is what scientists mean when they describe our world as having more dimensions that we can't perceive. The information's there, just like in turtle world, but we can't understand it with our 3-dimensional brains. So there you have it. That's an easy way to imagine a bunch of dimensions. One last note. 300 years ago, if I'd asked you to describe the ultraviolet of this little room universe, you wouldn't know what I was saying, and you wouldn't even appreciate that the concept exists. But now, things like ultraviolet light, we understand them, and also we have machines that let us actually directly perceive them with our little 3-dimensional eyeballs. Which means maybe, someday in the future, we'll be able to understand and perceive some of these dimensions which for now are invisible. And that's a delicious idea. Oh no, it's so spiky. Oh, it's not. These are really old marshmallows. I made this like so long ago. Thanks for watching. That's an explanation of higher dimensions, at least hypothetically speaking.